Hello, this is Debbie with my San Antonio team, and I have my lovely business partner here, Sandra.
Hi everyone.
We are here with Holly Panther today. This is a continuation of our segments and little video series that we're doing for you guys because we just want to make sure that we stay in touch and we answer some important questions about certain topics that are really affecting all of us right now. And the reason we have Holly here today is because she's been homeschooling for beautiful girls for about 12 years. So I know everybody's been thrown into the homeschool year, into the homeschool arena now that schools are closed. And then on top of that, Holly has been a military spouse for a very long time. She was also a military child, so she knows the craziness that life can get. And on top of that, she has a home-based business. So lots of things that Holly can share with us. So thanks, Holly, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess let's just start what your typical day looks like and how you balance it all in your life.
Okay, great question. So thank you for that introduction. That was really sweet. I get up at the crack of dawn, which is not what you want to hear, but I get up at 5 a.m. And I was told when my kids were little, whoever is awake first wins. And I'm very competitive, and that has just stuck with me from the time my kids were little till now. So it's always a game in my mind. Whoever wakes up first wins, and I want to win the day. So I wake up first. I get in about 45 minutes of just reading and visualizing and affirmations and going over my schedule and just really centering myself for the day and getting some quote me time in. And then I head out the door from 6 to 7. I exercise. During this quarantine time, I don't go to the gym. I just go outside. So from 6 to 7, I exercise. Normally I go to a gym, but right now I've been running or doing stuff at home as well. So from 6 to 7, I do that. I come home. And then I shower. And again, it's still that mentality of whoever is awake first wins. I also just feel better when I get dressed. Sometimes that means just changing out of my workout clothes into my daytime pajamas, but I still,
especially right now,
right? But there's something about changing into clean clothes that I wasn't wearing to sleep in or work out in that just mentally for me really, really is powerful. So I change, I come downstairs. By then my girls are awake. So by 8:30, my girls have to be out of bed.
And I actually didn't share how old your girls are. So
I should do that. So they're older. So some of this will not work if you have littles because they're going to beat you awake at 4 a.m. I have a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, and twin 13-year-olds. They're all girls. But I actually did still get up at the crack of dawn and try and exercise before they got up when they were little. It just looked different because little kids know that you're doing that. And so they wake up with you. So a lot of times I was doing little videos in my living room with like kids everywhere, and it was not peaceful or calming or centering in any way, shape, or form. But it just happens.
You managed.
So I managed. So my kids are a little bit older now. So they have to get themselves up. We have systems and charts and things in place that create self-discipline amongst the kids, and they are amongst my girls, and they are in on that planning. So they know they chose 8:30. And they know if they're not up, I dock money out of their weekly account. So money speaks with older kids. If you're struggling with getting those older kids on a schedule right now and being motivated, it doesn't take a lot of money, but it just takes money for those kids. So my kids start with a certain amount of money each week. So let's just use an arbitrary number so that I don't, make you feel like you need to use a certain number, but like say it's $10. And so everything they do that is against whatever the system or the chart is, I dock money from that $10. So at the end of the week, I only transfer over into their account whatever their chore money is that they actually earned. So kind of like a real job. Like if you show up, you get paid. So a lot of our systems and our charts with my kids at this age are life appropriate. Like this is going to be real life one day. So they get up around 8:30. We start the day with news. CNN10.com it's on YouTube as a student version of the news. So we start with the news just because as we always do, but it's especially pertinent right now, just helps them keep up. It's a 10-minute version of the news. And then we have together subjects. So I want to pause right here and just say, first of all, I do homeschool, and I know you all have been thrown into doing school at home, but I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, this is not homeschooling what you're doing. It's harder and it's uglier. You didn't choose it. You don't get to go out and do fun things. There's no activities. You didn't choose it. So we're calling that quarantine school, which is very different than homeschool.
That actually is a better way to look at it.
Yes. We're even, as homeschoolers, we're usually out of the house. Like, we're hardly ever in the house. And so it's even rocking our world a little bit. So I feel you. This is quarantine school, not homeschool, what you're doing. But hopefully some of these tips will still help you. So we do together subjects, which takes about an hour and a half or so, mostly because I have girls and they just talk and talk and talk and talk. So then it's about 10:30 by that time. They have to go do chores, and then they're kind of on their own for the rest of the day. But again, that money system we have really keeps them motivated, because they will lose points at the end of the week. If they have like an assignment sheet that I print out every Sunday night, if that assignment sheet comes back to me on Sunday and they can't prove that they've done everything, no money. So they're—
Well, it's nice because you're keeping them accountable.
They're accountable, right? And that's real life. You don't get a paycheck if you don't do your job. So I treat school like their job. Like, that's
Right.
just to teach them. And then they're a little bit older. So years ago, I've taught them, like, here's how you you have to read 10 pages this week. Here's how you section that out to each day. Or do you want to just knock out all 10 pages in one and do the next subject the next day? So sitting down and helping your kids strategize, this is especially awesome because I know a lot of the remote schools are just like, finish this assignment this week. They don't have to check in every day. So teaching them how to self-discipline and evaluate, like, what can I actually get done in a day? Because what'll happen is they'll look at that assignment sheet and just get overwhelmed and not be able to attack it or accomplish it because nobody's taught them how to break it down to bite-sized pieces. So teaching them to break it down, teaching them, hey, if you don't have money, do something else. Like, I'll let you, Zoom with a friend at the end of the week if you have your assignments done or something. But figure out what their motivator is that motivates them, their paycheck.
Well, let me ask you, how long have you been homeschooling?
12 years, and I'm a graduated homeschooler. So I've been around the block a couple times.
I give you kudos.
Yeah.
So, based on what Sandra just said about giving you kudos, because Holly and I have been friends for about 6 years now. So I've known Holly for a while. And in all of our conversations, Holly, I always tell you, you are, kudos, and you're a hero, because I don't believe I have the patience to actually homeschool or guidance or the confidence in myself, because I'm having a little bit of a tough time. And I know a lot of mamas probably, and a lot of dads out there, because a lot of us have taken on the role. Some days are really tough, and some days patience, it's really tried by the little. So what are some helpful tips that you can offer to all of us on those tough days?
First, I want to give you all what?
We're going crazy at home right now.
Yeah. First, I want to give you all a hug because it is hard. You are validated. I do not have any more patience than the next girl. I don't have any more awesome character traits than the next girl. Like, homeschool moms are just normal people. Like, we have just taken on homeschooling as our job. I really view it as like an actual job that I'm paid for. So here's what happens is, as a parent, when your child misbehaves, you view that as a reflection of you, right? Like, oh man, I didn't discipline enough, or I didn't, like, even if you don't think that, like, deep down, you're like, oh, I'm not doing my job well if they're acting X, Y, Z. So then, yeah. So then when you're trying to school them and they're not wicked smart all of a sudden, or they just are defiant in that moment. So then you're like heaping on all of this guilt and parent like frustration on top of the school. And then you think, oh man, my kid's not like going to succeed, and they're not going to go to college, and they're going to need counseling because I lost my today. So what happens is our insecurities get piled on top of what's going on. Well, the reason, like, and I think that comes from how we feel like they should be acting. And I just want to encourage you all to stop shitting on yourself, because there's each child is so different and each situation is so different. And what's happening is kids are coming home and you're stuck, and it's okay, it's not a bad thing, but you're stuck in the mindset of a traditional school setting. Like, this is the amount of work they should accomplish each day. This is the level they should be at. But in just a little secret, in the homeschool world, we have none of that. For the most part, most homeschoolers are like, it doesn't matter where your kid is, as long as they're moving forward and learning something new each day, you won the day. It doesn't matter if they finished the X amount of worksheets that they were assigned. Maybe they're not a worksheet kid, and maybe you didn't know that. And now they're home, and now you're like, oh man, you're not a worksheet kid. Like, and then you think, did I do something wrong that they're not? So you just have to let go of the expectation of what traditional school looks like. Be excited with what your kid is learning that day. Little boys are tough. I will say that. They need to eat and move all day long.
Yeah, I got one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And they need to be competitive all day long. And then you feel like, what's wrong with me that I can't get my kid to sit down? And there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the kid. He actually needs to move that much, and he actually needs to eat that much. So, yeah, just, I guess the basic answer, or to boil it down, is letting go of expectations of what he should be doing or she should be doing, and just really grasping the concept of, did we learn something new today? That was huge when my girls were little. Like, lesson plans tripped me out. You guys, my kids are really close together. They're 13 months, 14 months, and 7 minutes apart. So there were days we'd try to do school and I just couldn't get it done. And then I'd look at the checklist of what we were supposed to get done according to the curriculum and feel crummy and horrible, and like I was failing my kids. So I had to throw that away. And then I just got a blank journal and started journaling what we did do each day. Instead of keeping track of what we didn't do, I kept track of what we did accomplish, so that when I was having a crummy day, I could look back at my week and be like, man, we moved forward in so many subjects and in so many different beautiful ways that, okay, today is bad. I lost my patience today and we didn't move forward today, but it's okay because I have 6 other days where we did. So,
I love that. That's such a great idea. I really do enjoy that, because I'm finding that it's really hard for my daughter and my son to want to listen to me. I feel that when it's not a parent, they're more willing to focus,
perform.
And that's really important that you're saying that, because I do think we're making steps every single day, even though you feel like you're not doing your best. But you're right, the progression is there, and it's always a win, right? Because we've learned something. I'm learning something new every single day. I forgot all this.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's important. You forgot all this, right? So also let go of mastery. It's okay that your kids are not mastering these subjects right now. You are not a failure for your kids not mastering these. These are general concepts. They're getting the general idea of these concepts and these historical times and these science projects and these math concepts. We're not going to really remember them. It's a general introduction. So it's okay if they don't master it. But what's not okay is if we kill the love of learning. Remember that you want them to love to learn. And if they love to learn, then later in life, they're going to be remembering that and be like, I want to learn something new. And they'll be able to teach themselves. So if you're fostering the love of learning each day, that's more important than mastery.
I am writing that down.
Quotes.
Not to kill the love of learning.
It's more important than mastery. Let's remember that.
That is to be the title of this entire Zoom.
Good, I hope it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so Holly, we talked about what your day looks like, right? And what you do to make sure that your day is somewhat successful. Like you said, don't be so hard on ourselves and don't be so hard on the kids, because this is new for all of us.
Oh, such a good point.
New. So what are some resources that you feel would be helpful for the mommies, the daddies out there, the grandparents, or whoever is at home going through this on a daily basis? And like you said, your life as a homeschool parent is very different than this quarantine homeschool, right? So tell us what you've seen out there and what would be really helpful for all of us.
Okay, so something that is really solid that you can take away that's practical advice is anything you can systemize right now, systemize it. If you can systemize the time that school starts and ends, do it. If you can systemize chores, things like that, put that into play and get your kids involved in helping plan that. Because if they have ownership over that, they're going to do it way more willingly than if you're just telling them to do it. So there are all kinds of free printables online, like free chore schedule printable. You just type in whatever you want and the word printable after it, like homework printable, chore printable, elementary school age schedule printable. Just get that in, like have them sit down at the computer with you and find one that they love so that they're like, oh, this is fun. It's something I can fill out and take ownership of, and it's mine. And at the end of the week, I turn it in and I get a prize, whatever that time with a friend or money or candy or whatever it is for your child. The other one is there's a magazine called Practical Homeschooling, and they have an awesome Facebook group. It's free, or Facebook page. Sorry, it's a Facebook page. It's free, and they post daily. They post funny stuff. They post practical things. They post great websites that are free, websites that cost, all age ranges. So Practical
Homeschooling. I'm going to post all of these links as well, so you'll find them so everybody can go to them.
Yep. If you loved and you attached onto the love of learning and you want to just explore that a little bit more, there's a book called The Brave Learner. I forget the author. I know her first name's Julie, but The Brave Learner. And then also there's a website called the Read Aloud Revival, which sounds like it's just about reading aloud, but it's not. It's about the heart of a homeschool and how to pace your day and have a pulse of a day. Lots of business owner things on there. I know a lot of you are working and homeschooling at the same time. I do want to encourage you who are working and homeschooling at the same time. School does not have to start in the morning. School can start at night, and that's okay. So school can be on Saturday. That's okay.
That's a really good tip too.
Yes, and to get out of that mindset of when school has to happen. If you're just like, I'm done, I don't want to do the online thing, I want to disenroll my kids. I know a lot of people are doing that, but they want to finish the school year strong. Timeforteaching.com is an awesome comprehensive curriculum. You go on, you pay a monthly fee, so you're not locked in forever. They have all age ranges, and it's a full school system, but you can also pick and choose which subjects you want to do. So that's an actual online curriculum, or you wouldn't need to go buy books or do any research right now. I think is that good? That's a lot of research.
That's awesome.
You have more, but I'm going to overwhelm you.
We're already overwhelmed. Not by you, but by
the thing. I know.
You're helping us here.
Oh,
we just
good.
need to remind you, and we're good to go. You're going to come over and homeschool. Oh, wait, you can't come over. But I'll put you on Zoom, and you can homeschool my kids. No, but thank you so much, Holly. We really appreciate it. And
Holly, I know that these are really tough times, right? And we're all overwhelmed, but share just your 2 favorite things about homeschooling.
Okay. So I have 4 teenage daughters, so it's very specific to me, but I remember when they were little, I would just go through the grocery store and people would be like, oh, just wait till they're teenagers. They're going to be awful. And I really think that because we've been home and we've cultivated a relationship every single day, and my girls have cultivated relationships with each other every single day, I have the most cool teenage girls on the planet. They are fun to be around. And I really I credit that to homeschooling because they have a relationship with each other every day, all day. They have to get along. So that's my number 1 favorite thing. My other favorite thing is when one of my girls has an interest, we can chase it. We're not buried underneath someone else's agenda and someone else's testing schedule and someone else's idea of what learning is. We get to hit pause when we want to and go chase an idea when we want. I have a daughter that wants to be a biochemist. I don't know. And so we can hit pause on the regular high school science track, and we can go another way for her that will still be college ready, but that she can go down and be ready. And is she really interested in it? We can chase those things. When they were little, if they were just super fascinated with horses, we could hit pause on everything else, and all school had to do with horses. So
that's actually a really good point. So right now it is tough and we are all struggling a little bit, but we can look at it as a time to foster time with our kids and with each other and really learn a little bit about what they're interested in, what they love. And I know in our household, everything has to do with space these days. So we've been really, which is really exciting. And then Holly, I also want to share, Holly has a very successful skincare business. We're going to make sure to post that too, right?
Thank you. Yes.
And her oldest daughter, Lydia, has a jewelry business, which we're all big fans of. You've probably seen a lot of our real estate pictures with our beautiful earrings, our Lulus, like we call them. So we'll make sure we share that too. But Holly, we can't thank you enough. You know, during this time of turmoil, that's just coming together, sharing with the professionals. And if it's okay with you, we'll offer to take some questions. We'll send those over to you so we can answer to anybody
that's good. You got this, girls. You got this. And gentlemen.
So much, Holly. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Stay safe.
You too.
I know. Stay safe, everybody. Love you, ladies.